Line 344.
One bus, one driver, one young man, and one deadly moment. All of it leading to months of questions for this mother.
And a bottle did that.
About the circumstances surrounding her son's death.
Do you think that's even remotely believable?
Now, a new view from video never seen before, and new questions.
Every time I look at the spot, how can you not?
Surrounding the safety record of Metro buses.
Do you know the results of the investigation by Metro? Did it be shared?
It should be shared with us, and I will.
Did it be shared with the public?
It's our story number 6 this morning. More than a dozen deaths and thousands of injuries connected to Metro bus traffic accidents over the last 4 years. And there are new questions about those after the tragic bus-related death of actor Michael Landon's grandson just about 6 months ago. Senior reporter Ross Palumbo has a new view of that and all of this in a story you will see only on KCAL News. Ross.
Well, Amy, this deadly accident was caught on several Metrobus cameras, but they're refusing to release that video. Now, in anticipation of our story late yesterday, Metro offered to show us the video, saying they believe it proves it was a suicide. They still refuse to give the video to us for air, but the family did. They are outraged and say they don't think their son killed himself. They say he struggled with mental health and drug issues and sometimes was without a home, but they strongly believe that had nothing to do with how he died or how the Metro bus that hit him did not stop immediately. In the video you're about to see, we're not naming the driver because authorities have not accused him or charged him with anything, another difficult reality for the family.
Sometimes it's very peaceful.
The serenity of this roadside scene, pierced by passing Metro buses. A roar of a reminder.
Yeah, the roar.
Of how her son's life stopped here.
Sometimes it's pure anguish and sadness.
Line 344.
The anguish first came thundering through on August 17th. Metro's own cameras capturing it. Route 344 rolling past the Cliffside Terranea Resort. One passenger boards and heads to the back. This bus driver is behind the wheel, and seconds later, 24-year-old Dylan Lupia is along the road. Then, impact, a fraction of a second after this frame. Inside, the windshield shatters, showering debris. Outside, Dylan's body tumbles to the ground. Mother Shauna Landon hasn't seen those images, but she has seen these photos of the bus taken afterwards.
So when you see that much damage, you'd be like, oh my gosh, what just happened? Like, pull over, do something.
But the driver did not pull over. He continued to the next stop, and even before inspecting the damage from the outside, he stays inside the bus and calls dispatch.
One of these transients up here through the mountain road up here in Palos Verdes decided to go on ahead and toss a bottle at the windshield of the bus, and the right windshield rather is completely shattered.
Is everybody on the bus okay?
Oh yeah, everything's fine. Oh yeah, everything's fine.
But everybody was not fine. Dylan lay dead back on the road behind him.
One of these transients up here through the mountain road up here in Palos Verdes.
Actual impact right here. And nearly 20 minutes later, these are the images of him still in the bus, 0.8 of a mile away as rescuers race in.
Look at all the sheriffs going by. Now all they need is the helicopter to show up. Boy, I'm gonna feel wanted. Oh, here go paramedics. Wow.
That you can say that you just think that this was something that was thrown at the bus and it was vandalism, when clearly, when you look at the pictures, it's not possible.
When the LA County Sheriff's Office interviews him, in their report, deputies say the driver said he saw Dylan, but said Dylan, quote, lunged at the bus without warning. The driver said he moved left more to clear him and believed Dylan threw something, possibly a liquid-filled bottle. The report adds, at no time did the driver think he struck Dylan. It was a full 12 days later that investigators called the driver and then asked why he didn't stop for nearly a mile. The report says he feared for the safety of himself, his passenger, and further damage to the bus, and was following MTA policy. When the detective asked the driver how he was doing, the report says he was having difficulty sleeping at night, consumed thinking about the incident. The report ultimately concluding Dylan is at fault for running into the roadway. But LASD says the investigation is still ongoing.
Should he have stopped?
He should absolutely have stopped. If we strike someone and do not stop, that's considered hit and run.
Is it criminal?
I believe so.
Should he be charged?
I believe so.
Family attorney Robert Barta believes the bus driver knew exactly what happened.
He's admitted to actually having seen Dylan. Dylan was struck. He's lying in the road to the right of the bus, clearly visible from that mirror. The bus driver is shown to look over.
Does he look like he knows he hit someone?
No, he doesn't even. It doesn't even look like he knows something damaged the bus.
So how do you explain that? Does that exonerate him?
I don't believe so.
I do have questions about how that could have happened, how they could have left Dylan just lying there on the side of the road.
Board member Janice Hahn is herself trying to get those answers.
Are there any public comments?
From Metro's own investigation.
You've seen the video.
I have.
Is it hard for you to understand how a bus driver could hit someone that's 6'1" and weighs 180 pounds as clearly visible in the video?
Well, of course it is.
You have made sure that there was an investigation. Do you know the results of the investigation by Metro?
I do not know the results of that investigation. It has not been shared.
Should it be shared with?
It should be shared with us, and I will.
Should it be shared with the public?
You know, I will be asking that investigation at least be shared with the Metro Board of Directors.
But Metro is refusing to release even basic information about the driver or his past.
Whether he's still employed by Metro, what his current assignment is. Those are basic questions. Should we have the answer to those?
I think absolutely, absolutely. The public has a right to know that.
Through public records, though, we have learned this isn't Metro's first bus-related death or injury. Since 2019, 3,744 people have been injured in accidents involving Metro buses. 21 people have died.
21 Metro bus-related deaths since 2019.
But just yesterday, after voicing their displeasure with our story promotion, Metro says it researched the very numbers they themselves had given us weeks ago.
People have died.
And hours before air have now revised that number of deaths down to 14, now claiming 7 deaths were only, quote, witnessed by bus drivers who were not involved in accidents themselves.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and board members.
CEO Stephanie Wiggins oversees all Metro operations, including Metro Safety. But she refuses to speak about those numbers, Metro's safety record, or its policies and procedures after accidents.
It is a critical issue.
Issues at least one director has serious concerns over.
I mean, 1 death seems like a lot to me.
Every time I look at this spot.
And changing her 1 death.
This is where my son was last seen. This is where his body was.
Into the last death is what mother Shauna Landon is now living on.
I truly believe Dylan is here.
And here she wants answers.
He's my son. And so he deserves answers. And I don't have the answers still. And I don't have the accountability.
Not only for her family, but for every family down this sometimes precarious road.
You think you're ever going to get it?
I don't know. That's up to Metro. That's up to the bus driver.
Well, we did reach out several times to that bus driver, but so far have not gotten any response for him. As for Metro, it says they drive more than 79 million miles of bus routes each and every year, and they've calculated that there's on average one injury accident for every 100,000 miles, and on average less than one fatality for every 10 million miles. They say the drivers receive extensive training mandated by the state of California. They now offer their condolences to the family, but say they are not commenting because of possible litigation. The family just wants answers, not only from that bus driver, but from this passenger right here, who was the only one on the bus at the time. They are looking to hear what he saw. Now, if you know who this is, please contact LASD or the family or us here at KCAL News. And one quick disclosure, while we were investigating this story, there was an accident. A Metrobus sideswiped my personal car and left the scene, but a supervisor did come out later and they did admit fault and take care of that incident.
Wow, but have they taken any responsibility for that crash or any of the others that you reported about?
Well, Metro says that they just won't comment because they believe there's possible litigation here. And you saw CEO Stephanie Wiggins would not sit down with us for an interview to discuss any of the safety issues at Metro. But Janice Hahn, the county supervisor, she's actually looking for a way to put those sensors that we have on our personal cars on buses now. So maybe drivers can be alerted in the future if there's anything in the road or if there's any possibility that anyone is in front of a bus or to the side.
Wow. Okay, Russ, thank you so much. Still a lot of questions.